Good morning. Welcome. It is Monday, August 10th. We are 90 days out from November 8th. Your DTD2. You're calling your Fs and your Gs, and you're texting your Ys. Calling F and G this week, texting Y. That's the DTD2. Do the database 2. Keeps you out of call bias, as it were. You know, you grab your phone. You're like, you know what? I'm going to make some calls. And like you call the person that you know won't pick up because that counts as a dial, which is a dial. It's a dial. It's a good thing. But don't forget, what are we asking during the midday protocol? We're asking for conversations and interactions. I'm not asking about dials. Dials are a means to a conversation, but they don't really count as a metric that we can trust to build our business on. Conversations are the nurture, right? So you're calling your Fs and your Gs, you're texting your Ys with the DTD2. Do the database to a tool built in the class called Never Ending Referrals by MAPS coach Steve Schlueter. It's pretty simple. You can go find it in the Kellerverse. If you don't need to do that, though, honestly, because every day when you open up the morning news, we're going to remind you at the top of the menu right there. I'm pointing to it. See, can you see me? See, hold on. I got my pointer. Stand by. I've been waiting to use this. You know you want one. See, there's my pointer right there. So you're going to point right at it. And I'm pointing right at it right now. So I'm going to tap on the screen. I don't know if you can, probably can't hear this. It's right there on the screen. So it's right there. If you look right there, it says DTD2. You're calling your Fs and your Gs, and you're texting your Ys right there. All right, I'll put it away. Isn't it great, though? TikTok. So excited. Anyway, calendar today. It's a Monday. We're getting back into business. Don't forget, we're 90 days out from November 8th. So we're closing in on like this is Veterans Day money, right? This is our celebration. On the 11th of November for all the people that have ever served. And above and beyond that, right after that, we start to pump the brakes maybe. Some people start to pump the brakes after Veterans Day, before Chicken Giving. We've got a thing that happens here. We start talking about Pi Day here, not mathematical pi, not 3.14, whatever the rest of it is. Talking about Pi Day here at the Kellerverse, here at KWCLM. Pi Day happens the Wednesday before Chicken Giving. And I think as we start to get closer to that holiday, people start to slow down for whatever reason. And I'm not saying that you can't, because you could argue, and you'd be right, because I would agree with you. When we get into that Q4 is activity for results coming in Q1. There's no Q5. We checked. She's not there. So as soon as we get on the other side of October 1st, you're doing activities that will probably come to fruition in 2027. So that's why it's so important for us to understand today. What are we doing today? Who can we talk to today? What conversations are we able to have today? Because you'll notice that we don't refer to it as just how many conversations did you have? You hear me saying conversations and interactions, right? A conversation or an interaction, I would say. It is a conversation, but an interaction or a conversation, I want you to think about the phone. I want you to think about when somebody sees you in the parking lot at Hannah Foods and they're like, hey, how's it going? That counts. What kind of questions are we asking in those conversations? And I don't mean you square your shoulders and you're like, hey, do you want to buy, sell, or invest? I honestly, this is going to piss off some of the high Ds. Hopefully Gary's in a meeting right now. I don't ever want you to say, are you thinking about buying, selling, and investing? Like how sterile is that? It's very direct. And if that works for you, crush, go, do be, print $30 bills till you run out of green ink. My presumption is, I know there's no green ink. There's probably blue and yellow, and they mix the two. We don't have time. My presumption is we're not asking enough questions. Enough questions. Brady Sondal says it all the time, right? If you ever hang out with Brady, ever have the exclusivity to be in the room with Brady in a near private conversation or a public conversation, like that first Monday of every month when he does the luxury call, 11 o'clock here at our market center. And then Adam does a mastermind after that call, that's the guy, Brady Sondal. And you'll hear him say it quite often. You'll never hear him say guys. You'll always hear him say ladies and gentlemen. And then he'll say, the quality of your life will be commensurate with the quality and quantity of questions that you ask. How curious are you? How much do you keep peeling that onion to let the other person speak, to let the other person feel heard and seen, to let the other person feel like the star of the show? And if you're thinking to yourself, well, Timmy, when I get going, like I ask great questions, I stay really curious, I make the people in the room with me feel really special. Love that. How often are you doing that? Would you say the activity is meeting the expectations of your desired result? And if she's not, let's have a meeting. Let's make sure we get on the same page. Let's make sure that your audio matches your video. Whatever you put together last fall for your future, whatever you told yourself 2026 was going to look like, do you feel like during 2026, your video matched your audio from late fall 2025? Or did you say that because it felt good in the moment? I would argue, beyond a shadow of a doubt, most of the goals that we set are going to be aspirational as opposed to inspirational. We tell you all the time, we want the goals to be big enough, just big enough to scare you. And certainly outside of your comfort zone. So you can go do something that you feel like you have no business doing, right? That's why I completely hammer away at the fact that I actually enjoy that people are now getting away from fake it till you make it. And you hear more people saying, because I think it's the same mindset, get away from fake it till you make it and start using the phrase of imposter syndrome. And I hear this when I talk to people all the time. Yeah, I feel like I've got some imposter syndrome around this. And if you really dig down to the root of what that is and where that's coming from for people, I think it's positive. I think it's because you woke up and you're thinking to yourself, well, today I said I was going to do this and I don't really have any business doing this. This is well outside of my comfort zone. Or I've never done this before. It's a great quote. You hear the meme all the time on the TikToks and stuff like that. And I can't remember what movie it's from for the life of me. It might be Night at the Museum, which I've never actually seen, even though I love Robin Williams. I probably should have seen it. And the audio is, I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. And then you hear Robin Williams say, isn't that exciting? So today is your tomorrow from yesterday. What are you going to do? How will you make it different? How will you plus it for you and your loved ones? And never mind doing something to impress others or to be able to check a box. Do it for you. I have conversations all the time with people that are, for a million different reasons, they want to do stuff to prove other people's belief systems wrong. I want to prove them wrong. I would love for you to just feel the need to prove yourself right. You know in your heart what you truly desire. And if you have the knowledge, especially in our ecosystem at Keller, that other people within this international brand have done what you're setting out to do, then we know that it's not impossible. We just know that there's a tiny barrier of fear between you and that taking place for you. And that just looks like you being fearless for a little bit, betting on yourself, and putting your God-given talents into play. Is today the day? Why not? What do you want your November 8th to look like? And if you only focus on what's in front of you, which this week is calling your F's and your G's and texting your Y's and having the conversations and interactions that you need to make sure that you're nurturing those relationships, you're rebuilding those bridges, and you're starting to stack that goodwill that you are there for them. Not there for the transaction. You're being a human in the gap. When other salespeople might move on because they've got in their head, I have a time frame of when the Lindsays will list next. I don't need to talk to them for a few years. And you're well within your right. This is a sales industry. You can transactionalize what you do in this industry. People do it every day. I see agents do it all the time. I can also tell you those same agents run burnout faster than most. So if you don't want to be salesy, don't be salesy. When you started, if you said, I want to help people, then let's do that. We certainly don't do that with our silence. We certainly don't do that by not showing up. And what a joy it is. That's what we get to do. Because when you break it down, if you actually told your friends, every day I get to wake up and talk to the people that I know and love and trust to find out who they know and love and trust in search of the person that I get to serve that day. And then at my market center, based on our average price point, my gross commission income check could be somewhere between $12,000 and $14,000. So even after company dollar and Gary dollar and my delicious taxes, I get paid really well for what I do. And I love what I do. What a combination that would be. And the only thing truly holding me back is me. What a conundrum that is. If you need, because we know this industry is 99% mindset, if you need that check, I'm telling you this afternoon, we are so fortunate to have a Monday afternoon calendar the way we do. We got Breakthrough Club, obviously, this morning. That's our lead gen. It runs 9 to noon. You can click that link in the morning news and hang out with us in the Zoom room. It's not sexy, but it's effective. Wherever you're doing your lead gen, join us there if you need a place to be. KWBreakthroughClub.com, 9 to noon, the Zoom room. Making your phone calls, doing your marketing, whatever you're doing to make sure you connect with the humans you need to connect with, the ones that deserve to have your service. At 11 o'clock, there is KW Productivity Call. This is from Texas. This is sort of like the call every week connected to everyone that's been doing Breakthrough 120. You can check in with that at 11 o'clock. The link for that is in the morning news. At 12 o'clock, we're going to get together and do our midday protocol. That is your conversations and your interactions. That is how many appointments have you set to sit with buyers, sellers, and investors, to talk to them about joining you and signing you into their business. And then, of course, agreements signed. Conversations and interactions, appointments set, and agreements signed. Those three lead indicators tell us how our pipeline looks. That will be indicative of how I'm going to be feeling on November 8th, 90 days from today. And then we hit the afternoon. You get Jason Westcott, our managing broker, 1:30. The conversation is Ask the Broker. What came up over the weekend? Questions you might have. It's like open door hours with your professor at the university. That's 1:30 today. At 2:30, you've got Tech Your Business to the Next Level with the Maggie McDowell, our regional tech trainer. And then at 3 o'clock, our dear friend, Tiffany Hampton, fantastic MAPS coach, one of the best on the marble with 25 and 26. Don't forget, Maggie and, of course, Tiffany will be traveling to Texas next week. So we will not have these conversations next week, but they're here today. So join them this afternoon. Jason at 1:30, Maggie at 2:30, Tiff at 3. If I can help with anything, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can book my face at meetwithcoach.com. Someone is looking to have the conversation with you. They don't know it yet, but they're in need of help. And as our dear friend Michael Mayer said in 7 Levels of Communication, today, somewhere in my city, someone's looking for help, and it is my job to find them. Have a great day.